not going to be Bible trivia, is it?
Hi, I'm sitting here with Pastor Nathan Norman. He's from Immanuel Church in Delaware.
Yep.
And he's the pastor that we've been working with, or I've been working under all this week here in Delaware, Costa Rica. Pastor Norman, I would like to know how long you've been pastor at your youth pastor at your church.
I've been the youth and young adults pastor at Immanuel Church for 6 years.
For 6 years. And were you appointed, or were you elected, or did God just give you the calling? How did that happen?
I felt led to apply for this job when I found out it was the church my wife grew up in. And so I went through an application process with the search committee and preaching and congregational vote and all of that. So.
That's something we just went through. My pastor had died, and we had to go through a search for a new pastor, so I understand where you're coming from. As far as this trip to Liberia, Costa Rica, how was this trip placed on your heart, and what made you decide to come here?
We'd gone with Praying Pelican Missions the last 2 years to Belize, and one of our trip leaders was named Laura, and she's now the director over Costa Rica, and she was telling me that Costa Rica is very open to the gospel, and that as soon as people receive the message, they get saved, and the churches are well established to help plug them in. So I wanted to go somewhere where we know there would be fruit, and it seemed like people were ready and willing to receive it.
So then that means you still believe that the missionaries are beneficial and a necessary component to fellowship and worship.
Yeah, I mean, we were, as missionaries, you know, we came in and encouraged the church and helped to establish fellowship between those two churches, our church and theirs, and your church as well. So it's just been, I think it's been a great thing for all parties involved.
So would you say that your goals for this trip have been met?
Definitely. We had a team of 21 plus you makes 22. 8 of ours were adults, the rest were all kids in middle school or high school. And I want to expose them to a mission field. I wanted them to step out of their comfort zone in many different areas, from elderly care to working with kids to construction to preaching and testimonies and prayer on the streets. And that all happened and went great.
Thank you. Fantastic. I know that while I've been here, I've learned so much from you and your ministry with your young people, and I get a chance to take that back to my church as well. I also wanted to know, spiritually, what were some of the things that took place here in Costa Rica?
Well, spiritually, we took prayer walks, and we're just walking to see what we could discern in the Spirit. And the things that we discerned, we would pray for. If we walked by a house that we felt we need to stop and pray for, we prayed for them with whatever adapted on our hearts. Spiritually, we put on a leadership summit, a service, which you helped with, and we're teaching people how to step out of their comfort zone and lead. And that may not seem spiritual, but it is, because it's leading people to Christ and expanding the church. We prayed for healings. We saw healings. We had 2 confirmed salvations. We had numerous kids raise their hand for salvation at a school. We were loving on people constantly, and that is a spiritual thing.
Yeah, and that was something to see. For those that have never been on a mission trip, it really teaches you to step out on faith and just to know that God has everything in control. We've seen some pretty mighty, powerful things since we've been here in Costa Rica. Is this a trip that you would take again? Would you come here again to Costa Rica?
Yeah, I feel like we will. I don't know how soon it would be. Maybe take a year and go somewhere else, or do a trip in the United States, because we feel both are important. But we would definitely come back here, especially with the church that we were connected with. We felt a great connection with the pastor there.
Well, I want to say thank you for allowing me to come in under you and to just learn about your fellowship and your ministry and the things that we've done here in Costa Rica, and I feel like I have a new family. So thank you so much.
Come visit us.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you too, because you stepped out of your comfort zone all by yourself to come join a bunch of teenagers. Yeah. And you hung with us every step of the way. Your attitude was great. Your work ethic was great. And we love you.
Great.
Love
you too. All right.